Empty shelves, high gas prices, a labor shortage, but the president is taking a victory lap. President Biden tweeting, quote, "We're ending 2021 with what one analyst described as the strongest first-year economic track record of any president in the last 50 years. Let's keep the progress going." Here now is Steve Forbes, Forbes Media Chairman. Okay, Steve, you are the guru in this space. Was this the best first-year performance of any president in the last 50 years, or is Joe Biden lying to me?
Well, it's near New Year, so let's be kind to him. And everyone's wondering, who is that analyst? Is it King Kong? Who is it? And so the Twitter sphere is having real fun with this. Sounds like Herbert Hoover. Prosperity is just around the corner in the depths of the Depression. And so when you look at the momentum this economy had a year ago and what they've done in energy and other areas to slow it down, this is quite chutzpah. That's the polite word for what they just did. And maybe he didn't do it. Maybe it was one of his handlers. Who knows?
No, I think you're right. But when you look at what's happened here, I mean, again, we have inflation, high gas prices, as I mentioned, coming into you. I mean, a labor shortage. And around America's kitchen table, I mean, there's a lot of frustration that's building about this economy, which is why his poll numbers are so low. And I mean, I don't know when he sends out tweets like that if he thinks he's going to dupe the American people. But the American people, Steve, are too smart when they see the reality of what's happening with their own checkbooks, their own bills, and their own finances, right?
And it also shows how these politicians get in a bubble that is really amazing to behold. Like a few weeks ago, they were saying, oh, well, higher prices show that people are prosperous and they're spending more. Their salaries are going up. Neglecting to mention that prices are going up even faster. And so until they come to grips with reality, they're going to continue to push this far left agenda. They're going to try to push through tax cuts. And they're using under modern socialism regulations to control the economy, even without the consent of Congress, like telling pension funds what the corporations can and cannot do. And you see the regulations piling up on small businesses. You see it in energy. We were once a nation that was producing more energy. Now we are about down 3 or 4 million barrels of oil that we should be producing. Prices go up when you don't have enough production. Hello?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty simple economics 101. But so I want you to look in your crystal ball for me, Steve. You're going to go into 2022 and give me some prediction on what's going to happen with inflation. So let's just assume that Build Back Better, that monstrosity, doesn't pass. We don't have, $5 trillion extra dollars coming in payments and social programs. What's going to happen? Is this going to dissipate a little bit, inflation, or is this going to continue to rage into 2022 and beyond?
Well, the supply chain part of inflation should be getting a little better if the administration would just get out of the way and let the private sector deal with it and remove these artificial obstacles. The big threat for 2022 and 2023 is the Federal Reserve has printed a mountain of money. They've kept it in check through a device called reverse repos, but they have $1.7 trillion ready to pour into the economy. You have unspent authorization bills, as you well know from your experience in Congress, that has not yet been spent. If that money is allowed to seep into the economy now, flood into the economy next year, you're going to have the kind of inflation, monetary inflation, we saw in the 1970s, which will mean higher interest rates. Not a good thing to have roaring high interest rates in an economy that is still recovering from the COVID shutdowns.
Steve, when I was in Congress, I was in the Financial Services Committee, and we spent so much time talking about quantitative easing. And the Fed would always be like, we are so smart and we are so bright and we're not going to overplay our hand, and inflation's in check. We have a target of 2% inflation and we're nowhere near that, so don't worry. And we're always talking to them about, listen, when inflation starts to rear its ugly head, it's really hard to contain it, so we should be very cautious with the bond buying and mortgage security buying. And it seems like they didn't care. And now, I mean, has this kind of gotten away from them? And are they going to have to raise rates and maybe pull the economy back to get inflation under control?
Well, that's the thing. The only way they know how to control inflation is by trashing the economy. They think the prosperity causes inflation. They don't focus on the value and integrity of the dollar. They all focus on trying to control the economy. Paul Volcker, the former head of the Federal Reserve, late Paul Volcker, back in the 1980s, killed the terrible inflation of the late 60s and 1970s. And when he was told years ago about 2% inflation, he rolled his eyes. He said, soon they'll be saying we need 3 and then 4 and then 5. He was right. You don't control inflation like a thermostat. You don't control it like a faucet or a light switch. And that's what they're finding out. So they botched it on the supply side, and now they're about to botch it on the monetary side. And we could get stagflation. But this is White House. They just keep patting themselves on the back.
And
soon
Steve,
the
but we
voters
go
are gonna
back
hit
to those
them on the back.
I think you're
On the
right. We go back to the
backside.
the 1980s. You're absolutely right. I think the voters are going to hit them in the midterms. But you go back to the 1980s, and Ronald Reagan was allowing some pain to get inflation under control. He was going to make it better by these tough policies. And you have the Democrats today actually not trying to make things better. Their policies are going to make things way worse, which is why I fundamentally don't understand why and what they're doing. Quick, then I'll
Well, what they're doing is what they're trying to do is political control. The far left, they don't care about elections. They just want to get these programs in place, more control. That's why you're going to see a push again next year for the IRS, giving more power to the IRS. These people won't stop.
Steve, more control, less freedom. It doesn't look good for a new year if that's what we have in store. Thank you for joining me today, and Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you.
Happy New Year, and the American people will rise up. They will.
I think you are 100% right.